Hi, everybody. This is day 7, October the 31st of Imagine a Miracle Every Day. And as you maybe can see, I've waited till it was a little bit late in the day, and now I actually came to a place where there was a little bit of water. It's a cemetery nearby, so that I could have some daylight and then also be able to talk about this verse because it has water in it. Fantastic. All right, so the verse of today is Matthew 14, verses 22 to 32. And here is that. And I'm going to read it and then we're going to imagine this together. This is one of my very favorite verses to read. All right, 22. Now, I just want to tell you that this miracle starts. A bunch of the miracles start and end at at the end of another miracle, and so this one starts after a different one that I'm not going to mention, and it says, "And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into the ship." A ship, and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. So now we are going to imagine, I'm going to imagine this. So I love this. This is when he goes and he tells them, get into a ship, and they launch off before he does. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. So you got to remember, there are a bunch of mountains near where he is a lot of times because he often goes into a mountain, refers to a mountain, etc. So the thing is that there's a mountain there. He goes up there because Jesus always goes and almost like he refuels himself. He unites his spirit in the quiet with the spirit of the Father, of God. So you want to imagine him going up there into the mountain, and he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening he was come, he was there alone. So he goes up there. He's there alone, but the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. Now it's funny because today is a day that's raining, like that day was, or I think it was raining. So it's not too windy today, although I can see some of the trees are blowing a little teeny bit. They were blowing more yesterday. But anyway, so you could imagine them, the disciples are out in the ship. They're being tossed with waves. And I need to roll this window up. And tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. So you got to really be able to picture this in your mind. When I finally was able to picture this in my mind, it was amazing. I could see it was really dark because it says the fourth watch of the night. I could see that they're looking they're in the middle of the sea, and here comes Jesus walking on the sea. So I don't know how he did it, whether he made himself be like full of light and his physical body was more like a spirit, more like what we call a ghost. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a spirit," and they cried out for fear. So I imagine that they were looking out, like I've been on a cruise ship before, and I remember looking out at night and everything, you're just seeing, you're seeing the waves, it's not really waves, but you're seeing the water and you're moving and everything. Imagine that you see something out there, you don't know what it is, and you think to yourself, oh my God, I see something out there. And it is a spirit. They see something, they think it's a spirit. They don't know. They're like, if it's a spirit, who died? Are we dead? Did somebody die? and they cry out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them as he's walking. He hears this, he's and saying to them. So here's what I always do when I acted out. I always wave at them like, hey, hey. He calls to them, he hollers at them, and he goes, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. And I love that because I know that he was innocently walking like he knew he could, walking on the sea. They don't know that he can do it, so they're afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, come. So you can imagine Peter's howling out, saying, hey, if that's you, bid me to come out there and walk on the water because I know that you can do it. And so when Jesus says, come, Peter and here I'm going to read this. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. So you got to imagine that there was probably some sort of a rope ladder, I would imagine, that, came off that ship, and Peter had to walk, rung by rung down to the surface of the water from the ship. And then he puts his foot onto the water, and then he walks one foot instead in front of the other one, and he starts walking on the water because he's able to be in the belief that he can, because he sees Jesus doing it. He knows Jesus has the power to do all kinds of miracles, so he knows he can do it. So he starts walking, but when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. So you really got to understand that as soon as he started to feel fear, when he saw the wind, he starts looking up and he goes, oh my goodness, this is a wind here. And then he starts to feel afraid. So of course, then he starts to sink because his belief can't be in fear and also in faith at the same time. So Jesus immediately stretches forth his hand. He immediately stretches forth his hand and pulls him up. Come on, buddy, I got you. But he also says to him, he says, immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? You were already doing it. Jesus already saw him. He was doing it. And doesn't it happen to you sometimes? It happens to me sometimes. Already in the faith, doing something, but some kind of doubt or fear or some kind of weird thing knocks me off my path. So I love this story, and immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him. And then he said, oh, thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? He pulls him up, and then they go up onto the ship. It's amazing that this even was it's an amazing story. And when they were coming to the ship, the wind ceased. So here is this story. I'm going to end the video and see you all tomorrow. Imagine a fantastic day.